Hey, what is up guys, it is Slikk here. I am back again with another video, and this one talking about WB Montreal's Batman video game once again, and some new details that we have from ByteSizeImpressions, which indeed is the original source that leaked this game. Before we get into that, I just want to address a few comments that I've gotten recently on YouTube, like 3 or 4, but for me that's a lot of negative comments because I do really get them, and people pointing out like, you know, at PSX, it appears that the game will not be revealed there. People have been commenting that, you know, like I'm a liar, or I told them the game was going to be there and it wasn't. I just want to make something very clear that there's a distinct difference between reporting on leaks and rumors and me actually endorsing them or telling you something. You know, I had no information, and rarely do I ever, because I'm not, you know, an industry insider or anything like that. I'm just a YouTuber that is a fan of this stuff. So just do keep that in mind, that when I'm reporting stuff to you, including this information I'm about to give you, it is not stuff that I have any particular insight to, although I do have insight as to, you know, that the fact that ByteSizeImpressions' source is a valid one, and ByteSizeImpressions, you know, reporting on the Batman game is really the only thing that I can or have stamped like sort of my personal approval on, and maybe you can get mad at me if that game turns out to not exist, which won't happen. But anyway, you see what I'm saying? Like, you know, in the video yesterday, I thought I made it abundantly clear that my thoughts that potentially we could see the game revealed at PSX tomorrow were from what Jason Schreier was tweeting, and he alleged to have a source saying that the game is going to be revealed in early December. Who knows if that's right or not, and, you know, I just want to make that very clear that, you know, that whole video there was reporting on a Kotaku insider and his tweets on the game. It wasn't like Slikk telling you that the game's going to be revealed at PSX tomorrow, and if it's not, you have an open invitation to leave hate comments because I lied to you. It's very different, two very different things. Slikk telling you something and Slikk reporting on what somebody else said. Two entirely different things, and two different people to get mad at if it doesn't come true, I suppose, in my personal opinion anyway. And I do refrain from reporting on things that I don't think are valid. For example, I thought that Marvel vs. Capcom 4, I thought the leaks for that were rather spotty, so I refrained from reporting on that. Turns out that was right, and what I did report on yesterday was wrong. But anyway, let's get into the information on the newest Batman video game. Okay, so let's get into the video at hand. This comes from ByteSizeImpressions, who once again is the original leaker of this game, and you know, the guys over there I have gotten to know somewhat well in the last little bit here, and they actually recorded a podcast. Their most recent episode of their podcast, I'll link it in the description below, is one of those things that I was linked to it to actually watch the clip that I'm about to show for you from the podcast, talking about the Batman game and what they know about it, additional information regarding the villains, gameplay, etc. But I also started listening to it as I was recording my gameplay just further, and I listened to the whole episode. I really enjoyed it, so it's one of those things, you know, definitely check it out if you want some Batman information sprinkled throughout, but largely it's going to be conversations of other games and stuff like that. But I really enjoyed it, and I plan on watching the next episode as well. That's just me generally talking, you know, not me like promoting them or whatever, because you guys, I've promoted them plenty over, you know, the last little bit that I've made videos, and many of you guys are aware of them by this point. So I definitely recommend checking out their podcast. But anyway, in this most recent episode in particular, they were talking about the Batman video game, and we also have some drops of some names, some villains being included, and I'm just going to go ahead and roll the clip. It is rather lengthy, but it's all good stuff. So we'll play it, and then we'll talk about it afterwards.
So you wanted to grill me.
All right, so I want to get to some meat and potatoes here today, since we talked about, you know, the video games and all the news I wanted to talk about. There's been a lot of rumors flying around about the new Batman game ever since we talked about it. I think it's fair to say, you know, while here at ByteSizeImpressions, I certainly enjoy putting leaks out there, and certainly, you know, gaining a little bit of recognition and making a name for the website so that people continue to come back and read the opinion articles that I put up, and especially listen to our podcast. You know, there was somebody else since then who has decided to step up based on our leaks earlier this year and reveal even more information about the game. The reason why we didn't reveal more about the game at the time is because we don't want to blow anyone's spot up. We don't want to put anyone's job at risk. You know, we like to get leaks out there, but we like to do it respectfully. And anything that we put out there, Gabe was my source, but he had his own source, and he didn't want to put anything out there that would get this person in trouble. And, you know, we respect that. But of course, there's a lot more information about the game out there now, and now they're talking about maybe today, even at the PlayStation Experience, because Jason Schreier of wherever he writes at, is it Polygon or Kotaku? I think it's Kotaku.
Yeah, Kotaku.
He said that early December there might be a trailer for this new Batman game. So is there anything else that you can tell us at this point about this Batman game that's not been revealed? Anything at all?
Yeah, I might have not seen, allegedly, a vertical slice of the game.
Okay.
I don't know what details, how detailed I can be. I can tell you about the look of the game, which is definitely, I feel at least, unless they change stuff, it's bleaker than the previous ones.
Which is pretty dark.
Yeah, it's very foggy, very, very, very. I was about to say Arkham. I meant Gotham City. Like, you feel like the place is what it's supposed to be. I can tell you about some. I'm not sure. Did anyone ever mention the villains?
Well, you know what? Let me pull up that thread right now. I mean, obviously, we had revealed that the Judge, which is a third moniker or third personality of Two-Face in the Batman universe, that's going to be in the game. However, hold on. Batman, Damian NeoGaf. And I'll be able to find that.
That's going to be a long read, man.
No, I just have to browse the pages until I find that one long-ass post by that guy. So, okay. All right, here we are. I found it right here. This other guy on NeoGaf revealed about the game after we had revealed a few details about the game was that it was greenlit last summer, which should have been 2015. That takes place 10 years in the future, 10 years from probably the last Batman game, Arkham Knight. Bruce is old and he has a beard. He has a harness on his leg. He uses a walking stick. He is mentoring Damian Wayne to be the new Batman. He also confirmed, as we had revealed, that Damian is using the Bat Cycle.
Yes.
He said that there's going to be lots of great characters and also new ones. Lots of redesigns. Like the Black Mask character could be a female this time around.
I can confirm that since he already leaked it. It is a female. It's a blonde girl. It's someone that makes sense that she's the new Black Mask. She's cute. She's definitely cute. It has some. I'm curious to see what's going to be the reaction about her outfit.
Why? Because of the social justice warrior kind of movement? Is it like too revealing, too sexy?
I mean, to me, it's fine.
I mean, that's kind of how all comic book designs are anyway at this stage, right?
It's classy. It's not hoary. Like,
oh, that's nice.
But it's definitely, it has sexual vibes. But however, I'm fine with it. But I'm Italian, so what the fuck do I know? I mean, I don't know what the reaction is gonna be. I can tell you that there's two pretty characteristic elements to her. One being a syringe and one being a hammer. That's as far as I can go, I'm afraid, about her.
This guy also said that there are going to be other villains such as Flamingo, Poison Ivy, and White Rabbit. And other than Poison Ivy, the other two are complete mysteries to me just because I'm not into the Bat Universe stuff.
I can confirm all of them. I can also add a couple if you want.
Sure.
There's going to be Katana, which people should be familiar with because of the recent Suicide Squad movie. There's going to be Talon. There's going to be the DD Twins and a bunch of others that I can't name. Well, I shouldn't name any of them yet, but but yeah, I feel like we can we can play this for a little while more. Like we can release some of them on your Twitter or something.
Right.
I wish I could share some screenshots or whatever, but I really can't. I can tell you some screenshot that I made. There's a Monarch Theater. This should ring some bells for the aficionados. Let me see something else characteristic.
The Monarch Theater. I don't know anything about the Bat universes, but is that like the place where like Bruce's parents got shot in the alleyway?
We absolutely need what's his name? Kobe to fill us in.
Slick motherfucker.
And some of the details. I can tell you that
when this podcast goes up, I'll link him to this section of the podcast, and he'll make a video, I'm sure.
Yeah. I can tell you that the Wayne Enterprises are in a pretty bad shape. What else? I'm trying to see what.
Listen, just for anybody who's listening, you know, you're like, is this guy just making shit, you know, out of his ass? For anybody who's not been following the story on ByteSizeImpressions.com, Gabe is a valid source. He is a journalist. He writes for official PlayStation Magazine. So, you know, he's definitely got people who knows things that, you know, he wouldn't risk his reputation to say anything that's inaccurate or not true.
I wouldn't.
It would ruin him in this industry, basically, if he was just, you know, a liar. So, yeah. Now you saw Vertical Slice screenshots. I mean, they said that the game was starting to roll in production, so that we might not see it for a while. Do you think that
they've been working on it for a long time, for quite a while? I mean, I first told you about this, I think a year and a half ago or something.
Oh, you first heard about it, I think, in August of 2015. I think you told me about it about around October of 2015.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a project that and it's not the only one, as you know. They've been working on it for a while. I don't have information about any trailers as of now.
Right.
So,
and you don't know anything about the Suicide Squad game?
No, that one, no. I know
because the current rumors that I've been reading as of late is that the Suicide Squad game is probably 2017, with the Batman game probably coming sometime, you know, later, maybe 2018.
The Suicide Squad game, I have no significant information. Like I have the information that pretty much everyone has. It exists. So.
Okay. Well, that's a little bit of information on top of what we already know. Yeah. I'm sure it'll probably get some people who are aficionados of Batman out there probably a little more excited for what they can look forward to in the game.
And just one thing, Kobe, if you're making a video about this segment of the podcast, fucking send people on my Twitter and on Mike's Twitter to subscribe and follow or whatever.
Sure, because I mean we are definitely the first source on the internet.
Yeah.
That told everybody that this game was going to happen, and as a matter of fact, back in May when I first, you know, got this article and tried spreading it around, everybody was kind of like, "Who the fuck's gonna play a Damian fucking Batman game? This isn't happening." Yeah. Well, you know, I think at this point, at this stage, I think there's been enough information out there to confirm that not only is this game happening, but it's going to be Damian Wayne, and you know, believe. So this isn't a J.J. Abrams joint. We're not going to keep you hanging on for 6 seasons. But, you know, just out of respect to people who are working on the game, you know, we definitely don't want to, you know, just spill everything all at once.
Here's what I do usually. I usually share informations when I have more than a single source. Not because I need confirmation, because all these people are people in the industry, people that work on games, so I trust them 100%, and I don't need verification. Just because, so if I say something, the higher power have no fucking idea who told me what, okay? So that's the moment when I share stuff.
Right. And not only that, but I don't actually remember what I was going to say now.
But we're gonna change subject just like that.
Okay.
So some really interesting stuff to come out of this ride. I think the most important thing that I picked up on that actually Gabe mentioned very early on is regarding the aesthetic of the game. It's a little darker, foggy on the streets of Gotham. Also, we have Monarch Theater involved in the free roam, which we saw in Arkham City, which is a little bit odd, and we can maybe get into some problems here in regards to whether or not this game is a Batman Arkham game or not, right? Because we have to consider that Monarch Theater in the Arkhamverse exists in Batman Arkham City. Now, this also takes 10 years from a different leak, not from ByteSizeImpressions. I know it gets sort of confusing, but from a NeoGAF user who I'm starting to question the validity of. NeoGAF says they vetted the source, but Jason Schreier's a legit guy too, so who the fuck knows. But anyway, in regards to this though, we have to consider Monarch Theater in the Arkhamverse exists in Monarch Theater. Excuse me, in Arkham City. So, unless Arkham City is like gentrified and made into a new area, and maybe Monarch Theater was torn down and recreated in memory of Bruce Wayne, you know, generally if there's like atrocities committed in a certain home or place, then it'll be like taken down or whatever, and we've seen that, and it could be the case for Monarch Theater in the Arkhamverse. They were just relocated, or they made a new one. They made it a fucking chain, or in Gotham City. There's 3 of them now. Who knows? So it's not an outlier, and as I said, you know, they could have just gentrified the area, right? They could have turned Arkham City into something better. We saw at the end of Batman Arkham Knight a newspaper that says that the Wayne Enterprises is putting in a boatload of money to actually renovating Arkham City and making it, you know, usable again, so you can actually go in there. So, you know, my dream version of what this what this game would be is actually, you know, existing in the same Batman Arkham Knight map that we see, but essentially expanding upon it to the point in which not only can you play Return to the Asylum, not only can you play in the Arkham City map, you can also play in the entirety of Gotham, and the Gotham that Gabe has described here, and he has seen images from the game. That includes a darker environment and aesthetic for the map. We've seen some of the images from the WB Montreal Facebook page, wider roads, way wider, and just a bigger map overall, and we see some apartments and stuff like that in those videos. I'll link my video in the description below where I break down the Facebook videos that WB Montreal posted to their page, and you can sort of get a glimpse into all of that, which we know thus far. Really, really cool stuff regarding that. But as I mentioned, you know, there are a few things that are you know, we can maybe be alarmed by in regards to this game being an Arkhamverse game. Moreover, Tweedledee and Tweedledum, if I'm not incorrect, were killed in the Arkham Genesis prequel comics. But as we've mentioned with Poison Ivy, that does not mean that the game is not an Arkham game. So yeah, Tweedledee and Tweedledum were killed in the Arkham prequel comics, but as we mentioned with Poison Ivy, it is the possibility that you have Poison Ivy, but it's actually a different Poison Ivy than the one we have in the other Arkham games. So I'll give you an example. As we just heard, Black Mask is going to be in the game, but it's not the Black Mask that we know. It's a female version of him or her, you know, whatever. So it's a different version than the one that we generally, you know of. It's the same thing with Tweedledee and Tweedledum. It's the same thing with Poison Ivy, who is not going to be Pamelia Ivy, but Poison Ivy is going to be in the game. It's the same thing with Harvey Dent. Actually, a little bit different, but it's the same idea. Like, Harvey Dent is going to be in the game as a villain, but it's not Two-Face, it's the Judge. So this game in many ways is going to be shaking up our preconceptions of the Batman canon, and also tackling some more obscure villains, right? It's not just going to be the Joker, and, you know, actually it was leaked that the Penguin is going to be in the trailer. It's not just, you know, the Joker and stuff like that, and maybe he will be in the game. I feel like WB Montreal has learned their lesson from the feedback they got from Arkham Origins and that reveal. So I really do feel that the Joker is actually donezo. Like, he is not going to be in this game, period. It is going to be probably the first Batman video game ever where the Joker is not a part of it in any way, shape, form, or fashion at all. Besides maybe like a tease to, you know, of course, the Joker card in the Batcave or something like that. And a very disgruntled and old Bruce Wayne who apparently uses a cane and limps around everywhere looking at it, you know, that sort of stuff. So that's certainly possible in regards to him being the main villain of the game, or, you know, the female Black Mask is actually the Joker. Not happening. It's not happening. So, I mean, I don't know that. That's just my speculation, but that's what I would assume because of the backlash that they did get from Arkham Origins and the reveal that happened there. So let's also consider the plausibility of the game existing in a new universe. It's certainly possible, but the concern that I have with it is that it would be very odd to create this new Arkham universe and to not feature somebody like Terry McGinnis or Damian Wayne or excuse me, not Damian Wayne, Dick Grayson. Or primarily, I'm just thinking Batman. You know, you can have a game that exists sort of in a future Gotham a little bit, 10 years, 15 years down the line. There's no flying cars. This is not a Batman Beyond game by any means. However, you can certainly have a game that takes place in a little bit more of a future setting than we've seen in the original games, which portrays Gotham in a very dark, grimy, gritty place, which this game will as well, with maybe a little bit more of a futuristic spin on it in regards to technology. So I look forward to the bat tech that we will have at our disposal as Damian Wayne playing through this game. I really do think it's interesting. Again, one of the big concerns with this game being an Arkham game is that there's so little mention of Damian Wayne in the Arkhamverse. It is somewhat alarming. So, you know, in regards to the information that we have here, you guys heard it. I mean, I don't want to comment on it too much, and it's not in the greatest of detail. So, you know, it's like Black Mask is a female. Okay, I mean, there's nothing really to talk about there until we get the game, but it is really interesting, the discussion of whether or not it's an Arkham game. It's one that I've pondered on a lot. I'm still siding that it's going to be an Arkham game. It makes the most sense to me because WB Montreal has made their own contributions to the Arkhamverse. You know, the canon is muddled. I mean, there's no way to say it otherwise, especially with the comics. I think if you retcon the comics, it aids a lot of things. Then you just have Origins and some of the timeline errors that are there, but it's not overwhelming, and the game is canon, despite what I've said in the past. It is canon, and, you know, this game will be, I think, has a strong likelihood of being you know, canon to the first game they created, the first Batman game they created, Batman Arkham Origins. So again, it's just really fascinating. I jump from one side to the other. I'm fascinated to hear your opinions on it. Is this a Batman Arkham game? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Again, just, you know, the evidence with the Monarch Theater, and again, I think the villains thing, you know, the like, well, this villain's in the game, but they died in this Arkham game. Again, it can be explained by a different persona, a different person embodying that villain, much in the same way we have a different person embodying the persona of Batman. It's very similar in that sense. And by no means does any of the leaked information that we have thus far completely eradicate the possibility of this being an Arkham game. However, it certainly feels like it's its own thing. It has its own direction, and that's something that's really intriguing, and I'm just really enthralled by this game, guys. I cannot wait to see it, and that's I think a part of the backlash that people have with, you know, some of my videos recently being hyped and speculative. You have to understand that I am so excited for this game. It's been like my baby child, you know what I mean? Because I've just been making videos on it for well over 6 months, and people have been, I guess, like, just like, why are you talking about things that aren't official yet, or, you know, just only report on the official news. You know, I'm not a news channel. You know, I think that can be rather boring if I just give you the news for every superhero game. Hey guys, this character is announced for, you know, this game or this game. You know, there are some, you know, news outlets and stuff like that where you can get that information already. You know, we all are subscribed to IGN, and, you know, I think most of us are anyway. So I do those videos. If there's a new character announced for Injustice, I will make that video. But the fact of it is, news has been very slim recently. In regards to videos that people like to see on my channel, the ones that do the best are these videos where I talk about my opinions and speculate on this new game and speculate on other things, and, you know, do commentaries and my thoughts on Batman Arkham Knight or a certain segment of the game or characters. Discussion videos are, you know, really what my channel was built on in Batman Arkham. So the idea that, like, I'm just gonna kind of get on here and just give you the news in a very, like, repetitive, boring way every day, and just like, hey guys, you know, this game has an official press release, and just read the press release from WB, I think that's kind of boring. You know, a commentary like this that I just recorded, I find to be, you know, a little bit more engaging for me personally to record. And, you know, it's also something where I can get a little bit more feedback from you guys in the comments. So, yeah, that's just, you know, my thoughts on it. Generally speaking, on some of the criticism that I mentioned at the beginning half of the commentary about, like, why, you know, you lied to us and stuff like that. You know, I'm just reporting on the leaks and also giving my speculation and thoughts. And all of my, you know, opinions on whether or not it's an Arkham game is purely my speculation and thoughts. There's no concrete evidence I have to portray that it is a Batman Arkham game. So yeah, I've made my point very clear, but just do consider that, you know, when you're watching the speculation videos. It's maybe not for everybody, but it's as I mentioned, what seems to be like what people really enjoy. I mean, my video yesterday got 22,000 views in less than 24 hours. which is pretty damn impressive for a channel my size, if I may say so myself. So anyway, guys, I hope you'll have enjoyed the video, and if you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe for all the news and information and speculation for the new Batman video game, and like the video if you enjoyed. We'll see you all in the next one.